ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
It is Thursday, May 23rd. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. We're going to open up our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We got a fun show planned for you today. First up, we're going to be speaking with Marshall Swimming and Diving head coach Ian Walsh. We're going to be talking about senior swimmer Paige Banton. She was at the Canadian Olympic and Paralympic Trials recently, so we'll catch up with him in the next few minutes. And also, we're going to have an interview with a really exciting young lady who is going to be continuing her college career at Marshall. She is going to be on the track and field team, and that is Haleigh Crum out of Spring Valley. Haleigh, of course, excelling not only on the track, but a really good basketball player as well. Maybe Julie Folks looks over and says, hey, by the way, would you like to come play a little basketball here as well when you're not doing this track and field thing? It's a possibility. I don't know. I don't know if coaches. I don't know if coaches like that as well. It's like, okay, hey, I'm going to borrow your athlete. I mean, football is cool to have football players run track and field. I mean, is it the same for basketball? That would be an interesting conversation to have in the future. So she's coming up a little bit as well, so we'll talk to her. But until then, we're going to open up the text line now. I'm firing up the machine as we speak. That is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. You can also find me on X. It's formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann, because that's where all the stupidity is right now on X. The big social media bug got us all again yesterday. Let me backtrack a little bit. So yesterday during the show, I'm getting texts, but not necessarily through the text line. These are people that know me, that I'm confident in when they text me about something. This isn't sources I'm talking about. These are people I know and respect and have a pretty good head about them. And they're texting me. It's like, hey, Paul, you might want to find out about Coach Huff. It looks like he's gone from Marshall. So I got blindsided yesterday while we were trying to do the show. I didn't have anything on this. I didn't see a release from Marshall. I looked at all the Marshall social media accounts. I didn't see anything there. I mean, Coach Huff had retweeted something recently. I'm thinking, wow, this is kind of weird. But several people were texting me saying, hey, Coach Huff is gone. I didn't want to say anything on the air yesterday. But it got to the point where I had to acknowledge people were texting me and saying, hey, and I did that on the air yesterday. Look, I got your text. I'm acknowledging them. We're not talking about that because I don't know if that's true or not. And so I went for confirmation just to see if Marshall would be able to send me something, because at first thought I'm thinking, okay, maybe I missed something. Maybe Marshall sent something out, and I didn't get that. So, hey, is something going on? Did I not get that? Is this true? And so I waited on that, and then come to find out that it wasn't from a credible source. It just grew in intensity online, and people picked up on it and thought it was true, because it's one of those accounts that kind of look pseudo-real, like Barstool. Barstool, though, you know what Barstool's all about. It's like dude sports. And they have some really credible names there. They do. They have some quality talent there. I'm not going to lie. I listened to a couple of their podcasts. They're entertaining. But this is what I was finding out after the show. It came from one of these, I don't even want to call it a fan site. It's like pseudo site. I mean, a fan site's like what the guys over at the Thundercast do. That's a fan site. But those cats, they don't put anything out that's kind of inflammatory or wrong that I know of. those guys are cool. I mean, I know I've met those guys. I've talked to those guys in person. So this is an account that has a fake name to it, or who's the guy or who's the lady, who's the person or people running the Barstool account. I don't know. And some of the other accounts, I don't know these people. So I take them with a varying degree of salt. This account, however, is affiliated with like Sideline Sports. It's like Sidelines Marshall. Like, okay, this is what we're getting our stuff from now. This is where we're getting our breaking news. But this thing took off to the point where Marshall University had to actually address it. And rightfully so. Thankfully, Marshall did address it, and in a timely manner. Marshall put out a statement after this got out from the Sideline Marshall account, which is a affiliate contributor for Sidelines Sports Network. And they got a pretty big following on Twitter. Okay, so maybe Sidelines is a okay site, but what about the affiliates? The air quotes here, see the affiliates. How reputable are those people? And so I'm looking at this and I see the original tweet. It got deleted, but I see the original tweet with these sirens. You know it's legit news when journalists put the sirens on their breaking news. Charles Huff is out as head man. You heard it here first. More information to come. And so people see this and they see Sideline Marshall and this logo, and some people think that maybe this is a reputable site, this is a reputable person, and they freak out. Nobody else is running with this. Nobody else has got this. And so people are messaging me, and I'm not the only one that's getting messaged as well. And it turns out to be false. So Marshall releases a statement yesterday, and it's from Christian Spears. And so the athletic director had to put out the statement that read, "We all need to be better prepared for sites that generate fake content designed to capture key information via phishing tools. These reports about Coach Huff are untrue. Let's all be careful in social media spaces." So Marshall acknowledges all of this. This is fake. So fake news here. And at this point, I don't know what to tell you. So this account then puts out there, starts digging its own grave. "So I too did not believe what I posted, but I posted to get more information on the off chance it was true." This is from the Sidelines Marshall social media account. "Definitely false, was fed false information without digging deep," crushing your credibility as we speak. "I apologize to the Hurd family and everyone up at Hurd Athletics, especially Coach Charles Huff, our coach." And come to find out, because there are some people who question this, the comment was fed false information without digging deep. Fed false information. You know where this fed false information came from? It came from a website that looks like it's the Temu version of ChatGPT. It's ratesoccernews.com. And I looked at this thing. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's not even good AI news stories. It's absolutely garbage. If you take one look at this, anyone that's paying attention or has, honestly, a clue will look at ratesoccernews.com and see that this was garbage to begin with. There was no sourcing. The article itself is garbage. Absolutely. And so there are a lot of people who kind of have egg on their face right now, blowing the credibility of at least this account and their big source was ratesoccernews.com. And so this prompted the university to send out the release. Thankfully, I really got caught with it yesterday because I was on the air and I had nothing to reference here. And thankfully, I didn't contribute to this putting this out there. Thankfully, it got outed as fake. And so there we are, Herd fans. Just be aware. Sidelines Marshall. Maybe not a good source for Herd fans to be following for content. Let's turn our attention to Marshall when we continue. I think we're going to have some good stuff here today. We've got coming up next Marshall swimming and diving head coach Ian Walsh. We're going to talk about Paige Banton with him. Also, coming up, we're going to be talking to Spring Valley track and field star Haleigh Crum. We got all of that coming up, and your text when we continue on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey there, baseball fans. Are you craving a home run of flavor? Step up to the plate and swing for the fences with sliders from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Whether you're a fan of French dip, fried bologna, Reuben, or Southern fried chicken, the Marshall Cafe has sliders that'll knock it out of the park. Each order comes with a side of fries, rounding out your winning lineup.
Hey, take me out to the ball game.
Slide into Flavortown with sliders from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue, downtown Huntington.
The more vulnerable among us can fall victim to abuse, neglect, and financial exploitation. When navigating your way out, it doesn't have to feel like a maze. Assistance is available from Adult Protective Services. To report neglect or abuse, call 800-352-6513. Sponsored by the Administration for Community Living, West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources Bureau for Social Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This project was supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $383,493, with 75% funded by ACL, HHS, and 25% in the amount of $85,236 funded by state government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Everyone knows the old saying, nothing lasts forever. Well, whoever said that obviously never bought a timeshare. Not only do your maintenance fees and assessment fees go on forever, they go up forever. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Over 10 years ago, I was a timeshare salesman. But once I saw the dark side of the business, I quit. I started helping folks get out of their timeshares. Since then, we've helped over 30,000 families by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-226-8833. That's 800-226-8833. 800-226-8833.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Assured Partners in Huntington, AssuredPartners.com, John Sang Ford, 195 Upper River Road in Gallipolis, JohnSang.com, Ashworth Heating and Cooling. Call or text us at 304-743-8896 or visit AshworthCool.com.
Sweetie, want some fruit?
You have to use the right tool for the job. A power drill is the wrong tool to slice fruit. Just like an antibiotic is the wrong tool to treat viruses, including colds and flu. Antibiotics are only needed for certain bacterial infections. When they aren't needed, antibiotics won't help you, and the side effects could still hurt you. Ask your healthcare professional when an antibiotic is the right tool and when it's not. Visit cdc.gov/antibiotic.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Thursday, May 23rd edition, The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We're going to open our text line up in just a few minutes for you. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I want to welcome to the program now. It's been a few weeks since we've had him on. Marshall swimming and diving head coach Ian Walsh is with us. Ian, good talking to you again. It's been too long, man. Ian, are you there?
Yes.
There you are. Hey, man, it's been too long since we've had you on. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well. I'm very well. You've been pretty busy these last few weeks. Paige Banton having a really good run recently at the Canadian Olympic and Paralympic Trials. What was that experience like for you and her?
Oh, it's all about the student athlete and just being able to get to that meet is an accomplishment itself, and then being able to watch her navigate not only the elite competition, but being able to manage all the emotions that come with that, and just be able to, I always say you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the basic level of your preparation. And as you can see through her body of work through the NC2A season, she did a phenomenal job. So just really proud of her, and just fortunate that I've been able to be part of her journey.
How would you evaluate her growth as you've been her coach? How would you maybe encapsulate what her journey's been like?
Yeah, Paige, since day one when we started recruiting her, just a special kind of athlete, very poised, very humble. Is able, when the lights are brightest, she's able to step up and perform, and that had never really changed. But just kind of managing the day-to-day, and honestly her training, I think the way she's been able to progress is just be really consistent, and just the little things as we navigate workout, as we navigate competitions. She's always finding ways to be better. She's never a kind of person that's going to settle, whether it's in the pool, in the classroom, within the Marshall community. So I think to watch her grow, just be able to manage the stresses of a student athlete and just be able to show up and be consistent every single day, and really commit to her craft day in and day out, and always asking for feedback.
Yeah, she's had some outstanding performances as of late. And, of course, it's always an honor. Not everyone gets invited to the trials. You might have maybe a misconception if you don't know very much about how this works. Not everyone gets an invite, so just to be invited alone speaks highly of what she's been able to accomplish.
Absolutely, 100%. When you look at our sport, there's really no professional league. The ultimate, the cream of the crop, the elite of the elite. Every 4 years, and there's world championships and different national teams you can qualify for. But nothing's more special than getting an opportunity to represent your country, and like you had said, just getting to that meet and having an opportunity to do that is really, really special.
My guest is the head coach of Marshall Swimming and Diving, Ian Walsh. Paige Banton recently at the Canadian Olympic and Paralympic Trials. Overall, though, she was definitely one of your standouts, but it feels like we're on the verge of really seeing this program just break out. How would you evaluate the last few years and this season in particular, the growth, the progress that this program has made, and we're seeing success every time there's a meet, it seems?
Yeah, I always say, through our recruiting process, how we navigate that is, recruit character first. And obviously in our sport, you can identify fairly quickly based off of time, but just finding the right people. I think everyone experienced a couple road bumps through that period with COVID, whether it's recruiting and training and things like that. But I think what has gotten us to this point is Paige has been, so steadfast in her role as a team leader and a captain, and specifically her class. We had 12 women graduate. She was one of 12 that finished their academic career here, and many of them their athletic careers. But I think seeing year to year be able to instill and really the confidence for Paige in this senior class, and we're fortunate to have 4 seniors take their 5th year, Paige being one of them. So just be able to really see their confidence and leadership grow, and I think that's been a really big part of instilling that culture and allowing really the team to take it rather than it coming consistently from myself or our assistant coach or Megan, our diving coach. Our women, specifically our seniors, have taken some leadership in that, and I think they're able to really mentor and bring along these 8 freshmen that came in, and I think we saw a lot of great things happen from that.
Yeah, and one thing that I think that's really improved over the last couple of years, especially with Marshall's transition into the Sun Belt, I think the transition's complete. You know, you're a program to be reckoned with in the Sun Belt.
Yeah, we're just excited to be under the same umbrella as all the other sports. I know Christian Spears, our athletic director, was really committed to make that work and make sure that not only our program, but specifically our student athletes, had a great experience and be able to be in the Sun Belt and then come in right away and compete for championships. It's just been really, really exciting.
My guest is Marshall swim and dive head coach Ian Walsh. Of course, talking about Paige Banton, her performance at the Canadian Olympic and Paralympic Trials. So what can we do? What can you say about that experience that maybe you can bring back to help the rest of your student athletes maybe get to that point? What were the learning lessons that you can take away from all of that?
Yeah, I think just instilling belief, right? Believe in belief. I think that's really, really important. Our sport, it truly shows and instills, delayed gratification. It's not every Saturday, obviously, we want to come and compete at a really high level, but the nature of our sport, we really have 2 major competitions that we peak and rest for, and we prepare 6, 7, 8 months to go up and compete at one conference championship. It's very different than a football or basketball where there's a little more weight to every game. So for us, I think just be able to, I don't think Paige could have ever imagined that, when she came in as a freshman and where she is now, I think every year there's just more belief in her and more confidence. And I think hopefully Paige is able to show, our freshmen that finished their first year that every single year you can improve, because it is really, really hard to improve and find success, over, not only the 4 years through our program, but from, I think Paige started so when she was 6 years old, and every year she's found a way to get better. And, I think she was able to showcase what not only she can do, but really special things are happening within our program, within our student athletes.
What's next for Paige now that you've gone through this experience with her? What are her plans? What's the next step for her?
Yeah, for her, most importantly, just to reset and recharge. With our conference championships, they were in the middle of February. We finished that competition. And then, when everyone took their 2.5 weeks off, she was training really by herself, from the end of conference. We had a couple women come in once our postseason training started back up, but a lot of her training was on her own, and in the sport of swimming, it's really challenging. So most importantly, she's on a break. She's enjoying some time up in Canada with her family, and then she returns, I believe, on Sunday, and then we get back to training on Monday. Her next big competition is Canadian Nationals, and that's at the end of July. I believe it's up in Toronto as well.
What's next for you after we get Paige set up and ready to go? You've seen a lot of, I think, growth with the program. There have been many times where I would come to the Henderson Center and there were multiple activities going on and always a big line to get in to watch what was happening in the pool. Just talk about that growth. It feels like people know now that here it is. It's more of a prominent part of the athletic department. Not that it ever wasn't, but I think now people know better.
Yeah, I think, a lot of it was our leadership change. And, I've been really fortunate to be here. This will be year 9 collectively here at Marshall, 3 as an assistant. This will be year 6 as a head coach. And Christian Spears, our athletic director, my sport oversight, Beatrice Crane Bamford, all of them have done a great job of not only trying to get, our football and basketball and maybe those larger, more prominent sports in the community showcase like soccer's, but I think you see volleyball, swimming and diving, track and field. I always say a rising tide lifts all boats. I think we're seeing that just from a social media presence and also just through the website and within our community. So I think a lot of that has done with leadership, and it also helps when we have a really talented group and we're doing some special things during competition.
My guest, the head coach of the swimming and diving program, Ian Walsh. We need to get you back on sooner than later, Ian. It's been too long, and hopefully we can make that happen for you a little bit more consistently, as there are a lot of exciting things happening with a lot of your student athletes. So congratulations to you.
Yeah, I appreciate the time, Paul, and definitely look forward to chatting again soon.
Thanks, Ian. Ian Walsh, head coach, Marshall Swimming and Diving. We're going to turn our attention to track and field. Marshall, that program has really started to pick up, Marshall's track and field. And so when we continue, we're going to be speaking with Haleigh Crum. Haleigh is a standout track and field athlete from Spring Valley High School. And when I talked to a couple people about her today, they're telling me, hey, don't forget, she's really good at basketball too. So we'll talk to Haleigh when we continue on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
America Strong. It's what we're all about. And to keep America strong, all Glockner locations are offering our lowest live market prices so you save big. And with our partnership with Kelley Blue Book, the Glockner buying centers are able to offer $2,000 above current market value for your current vehicle. That's how we're keeping America strong at the Glockner family of dealerships.
We make it easy at Glockner.com.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Get in the groove. Downtown Huntington's premier weekly music event is back. It's Mount West 9th Street Live, presented by New Trail, Garage Beer, Big Truck, The Beast, La Marca Prosecco, and Matua's Sauvignon Blanc. Kick off the summer Friday, May 24th. It's Funkta-Fest night with the MFB on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Go-Mart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Mark your calendar for June 21st for a ticket to ride to 9th Street Live, a celebration of the Beatles with the Newbies. Friday, August 2nd, 9th Street is Dead, featuring John Ingram's Dead Center and the music of the Grateful Dead. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 16th. 9th Street Live is driven by Yes Chevy, Yes Ford every Friday night through Labor Day. 9th Street in Huntington between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Sponsored by Delta Hotels, Marshall OBGYN, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, City of Huntington, Marshall University, Impact Media, Xfinity High-Speed Internet, and Kindred Communications.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is open 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I want to welcome to the program now. She's soon to be a member of the Marshall Thundering Herd. She's a standout at Spring Valley and track and field. And, of course, everyone keeps telling me, hey, maybe she's going to play basketball, too. Let's ask her. Haleigh Crum's joining us now on the program. Haleigh, congratulations. It's exciting that you're going to be continuing your career at Marshall.
Hi, yeah, thank you.
What was the ultimate decision for you when you decided, okay, Marshall's the place for me? What was it that maybe put Marshall over the top?
Well, I've always lived like less than 2 minutes away from there. My older sister goes there, so I've always wanted to go to Marshall. It's just always been like the most convenient. But between track and basketball, it was more so I was getting offers for basketball at places like West Virginia State and Bethany, like which were all like really good schools, but like Marshall's like a D1 school, so it kind of like helped.
Did it also help that track and field seems to be now more than ever important at Marshall University? Not to say that it ever wasn't important, but there's a renewed interest, there's a renewed energy around the program. And did you feel that, when you made your decision, you kind of felt confident that, okay, this place is taking track and field seriously?
Yeah, for sure, because when I went on my visit, I got to speak to Coach Roberts, and he was talking about all these ideas he has and how he has only been there for 1 year and how he already is like winning. He already had 5 people go on to nationals this year, and he's like, the program's taken off really well, especially since we got male athletes back into the program.
So all of that was important for you, and it helps because you wanted to stay local, you wanted to stay in the area, and if Marshall wasn't a viable option, would you have looked at some of those other schools you mentioned, or would you maybe have gone further in trying to find a place?
Well, I had an offer from West Virginia State for basketball and track, so if Marshall didn't end up working out, I was probably going to end up there.
Okay, so you would have played basketball.
Yeah. One of my teammates, Haleigh Bailey, used to play at Spring Valley last year. She's up there, and so I thought that would be a good fit too. Okay, so you were going to take the best offer. It would have been basketball or track and field, and you weren't just necessarily wanting to stick with track and field. No, not necessarily, no.
Okay, so does that mean...
I couldn't turn down Marshall.
No, we're glad you didn't. So does that mean that you might wander over to the Henderson Center and say hello to Coach Julie Folks?
If she was ever interested, yeah, I totally would.
What do you think of how women's basketball has taken off at Marshall? Since you're from the area, you know how Marshall men's basketball and football and everything else has been over the years, but it's been pretty exciting around the Henderson Center for the women's side as well.
Yeah, for sure. They got a new coach last year and this year, but I can't remember what her name was.
Kim Caldwell?
The coach that was there last year. Yes,
yeah.
She definitely put a spark into the program. Because, a lot of people did go to the Marshall games, but I know that's a lot more people went this year than ever. Definitely a lot more support.
Let's talk about your career. You've been a standout for Spring Valley for a while, and something that not everybody can claim. Not everyone can be called a female athlete of the year in the Mountain State Athletic Conference. That had to be a pretty exciting and rewarding moment for you.
Yeah, that definitely was, because I've been working my whole life at something like this, and to finally get recognition for it was great.
And you also had a lot of really good finishes. Almost the state champion in the long jump. Almost. Yeah. I know that. Just it's a matter of a quarter inch away from winning, and I'm sure that sticks with you.
That was rough because they had told me that I had won it, and so I walked off the field thinking that I had won it, and then they announced the winner later that evening, and I was like, it was the other girl, and I was like, what? So yeah, it was definitely rough, but can't do anything about it.
So now you're going to go to Marshall. What are you looking to specialize in when you talk to Coach Roberts? Where do you think your strengths are going to be? What is he excited about for you bringing to Marshall?
He definitely talked a lot about long jump. I don't know about sprints yet. I definitely probably will be doing sprints, but I'm not sure which ones yet. I'd say probably the shorter distance ones, probably like 100 meter, 200 meter. And I know I'm going to be in some relays.
What do you want to do?
I want to do long jump, 100 meter, and the 4x1 relay.
Which one's your strongest?
Probably long jump. But I was number 1 in the state this year for 100 meter. I just didn't finish very well.
Okay, so there's potential there for you to do that. And as you've been following Marshall track and field, what do you think of really Marshall's had some outstanding performances as of late? I'm sure names like Abby Herring, Kylie Maston, Rebecca Merritt, who just wrapped up in the hammer, Tyra Thomas. What do you know about them, and how much of their careers have you been following?
The one I've really followed, because I do cross country too. I'm not very good at it, but I did participate in it. Was the Abby, because she qualified it was in nationals, and that was unheard of in Marshall history of somebody placing in that. So that was definitely very cool to follow.
You ever meet her? Do you know her well?
No. She graduated a couple years before me, so I didn't know her.
Okay, so you get an opportunity because Abby's participating, in the East Regional, I believe tonight. So
yeah, I think so.
Opportunity for you maybe before she wraps up her career, you two can maybe because I hear she likes a lot of sweet treats after events. So maybe that's something you two can start doing because she's really big in she's big in social media and she's big in sweet treats. She's told me.
That's funny.
My guest, she is committing to Marshall University, going to be part of the track and field team. It is Spring Valley standout Haleigh Crum. So with everything settled now and you're set to go at Marshall, what are you most looking forward to when the college experience begins? Track and field aside, what are you looking most forward to beginning this next journey for?
Well, I'm going into nursing, so I'm really excited about that. Marshall has a great nursing program, so that was also one of the deciding factors for the other schools was Marshall's program for nursing, and CRNA school is really good.
Okay, so you're going to be doing double duty, obviously working as hard as you can for the track and field team, and nursing, that's not an easy field to go in, so I know you know that.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. But one thing about Marshall track is that they really they make it important, their studies make it important. We have to get in I think it's 6 hours in the athlete study hall every week to make sure that we're keeping up our grades. So he definitely cares a lot about his athletes.
And is it going to be hard for you to try to have that college experience and knowing that the family just right down the street, just about, how much will family play into your experience here at Marshall?
Well, they've always been really supportive and about everything that I've done, from sports to stuff at home. So, I don't think it's really going to mess with me that much.
My guest, she is committing to Marshall. It's Haleigh Crum, standout at Spring Valley, not only in track and field, but basketball as well. Now, I know we were joking earlier about Marshall women's basketball, but do you think you could pull it off? Could you do 2 sports at Marshall? Do you want to try?
I would try, yeah, but I don't know if I'm honestly, I don't know if I'm good enough to play at Marshall. Their basketball team has definitely improved a lot over the years, especially recently. It'd be rough, but I would love to try if I could play both.
But it'd be fun though to go try out. Maybe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Go just maybe walk on. Just be a walk on in basketball and just see where it goes.
Yeah, I do. I have a couple people I know on the team, so it would be fun to play.
Okay, so maybe we'll see you as a 2-sport athlete, track and field, maybe some cross country as well, right? Yeah, you might do that.
No, I never do cross country. It was awful. I was so bad at it. What was
the worst thing about it?
I'm more of a short distance runner, so it definitely the long distance got me. In the hills, that was awful.
Okay.
Nothing like basketball conditioning.
All right, so short, up and down, back and forth, none of this weird terrain, none of that.
No, it was awful. And it was like the weather would either be like pouring the rain, you'd be having to run through the woods and be all muddy. It's just not good.
Okay, so you're more of a I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the dirty sports.
Yeah, I'm more on the track type of girl.
Okay, that's very fair. Haleigh Crum's with us, standout at Spring Valley. So when you made your decision and you made it known that Marshall was where you wanted to be, what was the reaction, feedback from friends, family? I'm sure a lot of people have been congratulating you and probably blowing your phone up.
Yes, Spring Valley's community is super supportive. We have like a Spring Valley Boosters page ran by Amy Keyser, and she is super supportive and trying to get me like seen by Marshall. So we definitely have a lot of people in our community that have been there for me.
Did that do the trick, getting you seen by Marshall, the social media?
I think what it was my coach. He, the Capital Midland coach, is really close with the Marshall coach, so he gave him my information and stuff like that.
Okay. Wait a minute. Spring Valley, Capital Midland. Wait a minute here.
So the Chris Parsons, the Capital Midland coach, is close, and he knows Keith Roberts, the Marshall coach. So my coach gave my information to the Capital Midland coach, and then he passed it on to the Marshall coach.
Okay, I just want to make sure we cleared this up because there's a rivalry between those two schools, right?
Oh yeah, but usually that's in sports like football and basketball. We cannot stand them in those sports, but usually the people in track are pretty nice.
But wait a minute, shouldn't you be in all sports, not just football?
Yeah. Well, usually, but everybody that I've met from there and track has been really nice so far. So it's weird.
Yeah, I would say, once a rival, always a rival, I would think.
Yeah.
I went to Huntington High, the old Huntington High. I don't even have a school anymore, so I have no rivals.
Yeah, I think Huntington and Spring Valley have never really been too big of rivals or anything like that. I have a lot of friends that go to Huntington High.
Haleigh Crum's with us, so looking forward to seeing you perform real soon. And every time you win something, we'll have you back on the show. We'll talk about that. I'm excited for you. It's great that you get to stay home, stay close to friends and family, and go where you want to go to. That's outstanding.
Yes.
Haleigh, thanks for spending some time with us today. Congratulations. I know this has got to be exciting for you.
Thank you so much for having me on here.
That's Haleigh Crum. Thanks, Haleigh. We appreciate it. Haleigh Crum, standout at Spring Valley. She's going to be on the Marshall track and field squad. And maybe Coach Fulks, if you're listening, I don't know, maybe give her a look. You need another player, maybe she could walk on, do the track thing. She'll be well conditioned. Possibility. Maybe she's got some defensive skills there. We'll see. Quick timeout. We wrap it up. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Transform your home in one weekend and get big savings on everything for your project at Menards. Menards carries the largest selection of Purdy painting tools you need to get your painting project started. From brushes, paint, roller covers, and even paint kits. Hurry in and save big money on Purdy painting supplies. Get everything you need for your painting project at Menards. Plus, check out Menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
In the tapestry of life, we encounter stories of legacy and accomplishment, but sometimes also abuse, neglect, or financial exploitation. Adult Protective Services understands the importance of safeguarding the well-being of our loved ones, our neighbors, and our community. To report neglect or abuse, call 800-352-6513. Sponsored by the Administration for Community Living, West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources, Bureau for Social Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project was supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $383,493, with 75% funded by ACL, HHS, and 25% in the amount of $85,236 funded by state government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by, ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Experience the perfect blend of music and adventure at Whiz Bangers Ball, June 14th and 15th at the Summit Bechtel Reserve, Glen Jean, West Virginia, with performances by artists like Tyler Childers, John R. Miller, Arlo McKinney, and thrilling activities like ziplining. Whiz Bangers Ball is sure to be the ultimate summer experience. Whiz Bangers Ball with Tyler Childers and 14 more great acts. June 14th and 15th, Summit Bechtel Reserve, Glen Jean, West Virginia. Tickets and more at whizbangersball.com.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
We're wrapping up today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. Text line reads, Paul, I looked at that site that the fake news came from. It's not even a college football site. It's a site with bad soccer AI news. I agree. I looked at it yesterday. Of course, we're talking about the false news that came out yesterday, and it really took off. It had to be addressed because it got to the point where people were thinking that this was real, and Marshall putting out a statement basically calling it false. And Coach Huff and those reports are untrue. So Coach Huff is not leaving Marshall University. And a lot of people got caught up in that yesterday on social media. So the statement going out, and of course, it was funny. A lot of people were putting out statements afterwards to basically point out, hey, you got to, when I was at Marshall, I was taught this, or hey, this is not how they teach us. I think we all can learn something here. Just kind of keep an eye on who's putting out what on social media. There are some people that were trying to get clicks and views, and they'll put stuff out, and there are other people who are trying to get it right. You know, I don't want to sit here and tell you I'm perfect, and I'm not. But at the same time, you get burned a couple of times, and you're in my position, you kind of double and triple check, where you would just check before, you double and triple check. We got a busy night, of course, coming up. It is NBA, Indiana, Boston, Game 2, Eastern Conference Finals. That's coming up tonight. We got the game on Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. Last night, the Mavericks beat the Timberwolves 108-105 in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Baseball action earlier today. The Pittsburgh Pirates fell to the San Francisco Giants right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Let me tell you, I was listening to the game off and on. I had other things that were going on, so I checked in on the game. And the Pirates got a grand slam. All right, good. They got this. They're leading 5-1. And then I checked back in with the game, and it's 7-6, and what happened? Pirates just fell apart in this one. So the Pirates fall after losing last night 9-5 to the Giants. We've been talking track and field, and we've been getting some of the results in. Of course, the East going on right now, and Marshall's got several participants in the prelims or and right now, this is what we know. Rebecca Merritt, she was 9th in the first flight, 35th overall, 55.82 meters. So, I mean, if any of us can throw the hammer 55.82 meters, speak up, step up now. So she doesn't get to go on, but that's a pretty good performance. Tyra Thomas, 100-meter hurdles, 13.71 seconds. That's fast. 7th in the heat, 38th overall. Still, if you can do the 100 meters in 13.71 and you've got eligibility, Marshall would like to talk to you. Kylie Maston, 1,500 meters, 44th overall. Still some good performances today. And, of course, Abby Herring is going to be competing in the 10K at 6:10 p.m. Rebecca Merritt will compete in the women's discus on Saturday. So there are still a couple coming up that maybe have an opportunity to advance. That would be great for the Thundering Herd, but still you've got multiple participants in the NCAA and the East trying to qualify. That's pretty good. Not everybody gets to go. So you got to qualify to try to get to the next round. You just don't walk up and say, hey, I want to compete. Pretty good stuff there. So I'll say this. Track and field's been fun to watch and see how the program's advanced over the last few weeks and months and even years, and it's been pretty good. We've been keeping an eye on what's happening in the Sun Belt. Last night, Troy beat App State 6-5. Southern Miss defeated Coastal 5-0. Old Dominion got the better of Louisiana 7-3. Georgia Southern beat James Madison 12-4. So now App State knocking out Coastal Carolina 6-3. There are still a few games going on right now. All of that's going to be on ESPN Plus if you want to keep an eye on that. Hopefully Marshall's going to be among some of those. NHL last night, Florida Panthers shut out the New York Rangers 3-1 in Game 1, the Eastern Conference Finals. So Florida taking the 1-0 lead. The Rangers at one point won 7 straight to start the playoffs and then lost 3 now of the last 4. So not the right trajectory for the Rangers. Florida's pretty good, though. Edmonton and Dallas, Game 1 tonight of the Western Conference Finals. That is 8:30 p.m. on TNT. It's going to go back and forth between TNT and ESPN. Same thing with the NBA. So there you have it. That's the day. Hope you had a good one. We'll be back with you tomorrow. And then Monday, of course, will be Memorial Day. We won't be here. We'll have stuff, but there won't be us. So tomorrow, our final show for a few days. Looking forward to it here on ESPN 94.1 at AM 930.
Retransmitting in Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.